Hello, today is January 1st, 2015. I'm Jeff Tennant. Happy New Year to everyone. Let's start out by reviewing the calls I made at the close of Tuesday's trade. We had a mejt target of 2083.97. I thought there was a fairly reasonable chance it would print. We gapped up, hit the level pretty much on the head at the open, retested it, went slightly past it. The level was a reasonable resistance area, and the resistance held. I also said that I thought the real money would be made on the downside, and that worked. We had a target from the 19th of December. I had been waiting for 2063.53, and that printed also. During the day, mejt said ultimately higher prices would print. The target was extremely close. There's the dot showing it printed within its preferred time frame, and there is typically resistance over mejt targets. In the middle of the day, TradeStation had some kind of a glitch. I don't have the data for here, so I can't make a precise mejt prediction. Based on other data providers I believe there's a target between 2075 and 2076. I think it's increased likelihood it won't print tomorrow in its preferred time frame for reasons I'll discuss right now. Let's take a look first at the monthly chart. We have bar 13 of a sequential sell from Tom DeMark. According to his rules, there's a recycle, meaning that the rally is so strong we have to count over again. But his rules were devised for a daily chart, and everything else you kind of have to keep in mind that it's not really the time frame for which his rules were devised. I think this drop we had 2 months ago is a pretty steep drop. It's hard for me to say this is a rally that's so strong it couldn't retrace at all. For those reasons, I think this is going to be a valid signal. This is a pattern which began right here late in 2012. Patterns which take over 2 years to form tend to be strong patterns, and they can resolve over a time frame commensurate with the time it took for them to be created. That means we could have trouble for a year or two. If you look at the daily chart, we had DeMark sell signals here. We can't say they really fail because we had a drop, but there's still a resistance area, and that resistance is holding in alignment with the monthly sell signal. Also in alignment, we have a sell signal right at the high on the 78-minute chart and at the 65-minute chart. Now, from the day after Christmas until New Year's Eve, it's typically one of the strongest time frames of the year because there's a strong reason for sellers to dry up. They would have to pay taxes on their profits in April 2015 instead of in April 2016. If you don't rally in that time frame, it usually means trouble. Now, the first 1 or 2 days of January, it's a different picture. People have a strong reason to sell because they won't have to pay taxes on the profits for over a year. If that's what happens, we could get a stilt-like move down Friday. That's one possibility. and I think it's the most likely possibility, but it's not really required. The reason it isn't required is there's a strong tendency, but not a requirement, for us to retrace to this line unless we have a sharp gap up Friday. I don't see that happening, and I think that the mejt target I mentioned earlier probably won't print in its preferred time frame, and it might not print for quite some time because this has the look of a possible diamond on stilts. Don't forget, you only need half of the diamond. I should say, in addition to this optional target, we have a required target, not by the mejt system, but by some other stuff, that we're going to see this 1972-56 level print again. We have a gap right at that low, and when you have a wall of selling and a gap up, it's usually a matter of time until the gap fills and we undercut the low of the wall. Usually it comes a lot quicker than this, but it comes. That's not the chart I wanted. These are all of the failed mejt targets from last year. You will observe that the failures on 5 days occur at certain specific times. They tend to occur right at major changes in trend, like there and here. And they also occur during periods of strong impulsive moves, which is what happened here. This could be a major change in trend. This has all the looks of a strong impulsive move down, and if so, we can't really have the usual level of confidence in any higher mejt price. So I can't give a precise mejt target for tomorrow. I do have some support here based on somebody else's stuff. I think it's unlikely it holds, but one never knows. We have a higher mejt target. I can't say exactly what it is because I have absent data, but the outlook for 2015 does not look bright to me. We could have seen a major high, and only reversing quickly and sharply, which I don't expect to see happen, would change my mind at this time. And that's today's call.